Alright guys, this is the first video of a series where we're going to be going over budget decks. Now I'm going to be trying my best to keep all of these decks under or around $20 if you buy them all singles, not including shipping and tax of course. Now these aren't going to be decks that are going to be able to win like Pro Tours or Regionals guys, and these are just going to be good decks to just get you into the game to start playing. Now all of the decks I'm going to be showing in this series are all tested. Now I don't have a way of showing you yet of me playing these decks in person, but I'm going to go ahead and show you me testing the decks versus an AI at the very end of this video here. Now these videos took me a long time to create, and of course I wanted to make these decks as good as possible. So guys, if you can just take a second, go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons for me. It'll help me out a whole ton. We're gonna do things a little bit backwards here. We're actually gonna start with the highest cost cards first, and then we're gonna move our ways down and then move to the non-unit cards. So the first card on our list is going to be the Gundam TCG. This is going to be our main beater in the deck here. So yes, the deck's going to be essentially a mid-range aggro deck. Overall, it's going to be very cheap to get into. Gundam TCG is actually a pretty decent card, making any of the Academy trait pilots you put onto it essentially into a Kira, and we all know how good Kira is. The stats on this card is pretty decent, just being a 3/4, and of course it looks really cool. The next unit is going to be Michaela's. Now this is actually one of the strongest level 3 cards in the game here. However, it needs to have those 4 command cards in the trash. This deck can actually get there, and I'll show you that in a moment. But also this links with any Academy trait pilot, so that's really cool. Here's art for another level 3 here. You're going to see a trend, guys. We have the Rizel, a 4/3, only costs 2. Everyone knows about this card. This card is extremely powerful for its cost and level. Doesn't have any link though, but that's what we're using it for. It's for its beefiness there. And for its slightly weaker brother, we have the Darabald, pretty much a Rizel that has a link ability and an effect. So this card, in my opinion, actually can be better. Now a lot of people don't really like to return your opponent's units because they may have those links on it and you're forced to do that, but the focus of this deck is to get anything out of our way, and just removing one of their little guys is good enough. So Darabald is sporting that for attack, and that's really what we're interested in. All right, next we have the Gun Tank. I know you guys have been seeing this around. It essentially is a 2/2, but it deals damage when it's deployed to an exhausted unit, so that's why it does have that 1/2 stat. It is easy to be traded into. Essentially we want this card because it costs only 1. Again, this deck is pretty aggressive. And for our next card we have the Gels Delanza. Yes, it costs 2, so that's not too great. It's a 2/2. However, it does link with any of our Academy pilots, so that's pretty good here. And of course this card only costs a couple pennies, so it fits in our deck pretty well, and it does exactly what we want it to do. Here we have 4 GMs. That boy has been putting in the work. The level 2/1 cost cards are getting a lot of respect nowadays, just because how this game is kind of designed with the EX resource being available to you. You can just immediately start playing these on your first turn, so the GM is welcome in this aggressive build. And for our last unit we have the Demi Garrison. It is essentially a GM, just Academy trait. So we have that. Well, let's move on to our pilots, and for the only pilot we actually have in the deck, it is Suletta. Now as you saw in the deck, we don't have any aerials in the deck. However, we have a lot of units that link with Academy, and the main use for Suletta is not only to just get the resource back so we can use our command cards, but to play more of our units, because a lot of our units only cost 1 and 2. Here we have Choo Choo. Now we don't actually have Choo Choo's trainer in here, only because it costs like over $1. So if you guys can get Choo Choo trainer, feel free to throw it in the deck. But Iron Fisted Discipline, this is pretty good in all of its modes here. We use it mainly as a pilot, but of course be aware that you can use its main and action effects. Now it only affects units that are level 4 or lower, so you can't really stop any of the big creatures, but our whole goal is to rush as fast as we can, and hopefully you don't have to deal with a lot of their big units. And here we have the Covert Operative Shattuck at 4 in our deck here. Yes, this card is actually pretty decent in an aggressive style build because it can bounce any of their Zorts back to their hand. Yes, it's only during your main step, so that kind of sucks. Or if you have a link unit, which we will have plenty of, you can bounce upwards to any of their units with 4 or less HP. So even if you can get some damage on it, you can remove them from the board here, get them out of your way. Yeah, sure, they'll come back. That's fine, but our point is to just get them out of our way so we can go ahead and do our work. This card is actually surprisingly strong in a more aggressive style build. We have Siege Ploy. Now this was one of the cards I was like really good in the beginning, and then people just started like to not like it because it wasn't featured in any decks. And now all of a sudden it is really good again. So right now we only rocking about 3. If you can get 4 of these, that's awesome. They do come in a starter deck, guys, and they are kind of going in the price here. But if you can manage to get a couple of these, go ahead and throw them in the deck here. They work so well. They're essentially an Amuro, but as a command card. And of course it has that burst effect, so that makes it really cool. So long story short, during your main and action step or burst, choose one enemy unit with 5 or less HP and rest it. Yes, the goal of this deck, as you saw with the units, is just to get them out of our way to let us do our work. And for our last card, we have the Kusanagi. I actually like this card a lot. I like when our opponent knows we're playing this. They're pretty much super scared of it, happen to come out of nowhere. If you don't want to use the Kusanagi, you can go ahead and use the Argama. There's pretty much the same thing. We're targeting units that are 3 or less HP and getting it out of our way. This one actually sends it back to your opponent's hand, so they have to replay it next turn. The thing about this is that it only has 4 life, but again, we're not really worried about how strong this card is in the defense. We're pretty much just trying to move things out of our way so we can go ahead and progress our game plan. Now, some of the cons in this deck is pretty much our curve isn't as low as other aggro decks can actually be, and as well as we don't have access to like 6 attack all that much. Now, if you really wanted to get 6 attack, you can put cards in like the School of Technology, which all your friendly link units get +1 AP. There's that 0.5 you can go for. Another pilot that you can use is the Enhanced Person number 4. It is an academy pilot that actually provides a +2 instead. Now, its effect is more so trying to keep your unit alive, so it can keep cards like Gundam Ferract, kind of like gives it recovery. It almost makes the Gundam Ferract feels like a Gundam as well as a Kira pilot on it at the same time. So that's really cool. So if you like something like that, feel free to give that a shot. Now, if you want to include a unit for Suletta, I would go ahead and go for the Bidon form. It is just a 3/4, but it costs only 2 on turn 4. It's pretty good. The whole point of this deck is to try to be aggro to mid-ranges. We don't ever want to really go too long, so we want to keep the curve down as low as possible. And for one of the last cards I'm going to suggest here is actually the Witch and the Bride here. I probably wouldn't put too many in the deck, but this kind of plays the same role as Siege Ploy does, where you're essentially just removing the one unit just out of your way momentarily while you go ahead and progress your board state. This also can work from the burst. If you don't have Siege Ploy and you have these instead, go ahead and try it out. Or if you want to use both, go ahead and give it a shot. You might actually like it. Alright guys, here we're going to be playing some games versus AI. Now understand that the AI doesn't make the best plays in the world, and of course all it's really trying to do is keep itself alive. This is also just a good way of just seeing how the deck flows, and that's really what my point is. I just want to go ahead and show you how to essentially play the deck. Now, there's not really much to it. You really just play your bodies and kind of swing and then move their bodies out the way. And that's pretty much what I want to showcase to you. Already, we have so many GMs. We pretty much got all our 2/1s in our deck, in our hand. That's pretty good. 3 of each. I didn't even try to do this. I'm gonna really try to do this. Play them all in like color order here. Now I just want to do it. Look at that. That's so awesome. Oh man. Okay, let's go ahead and just start just wailing on our opponent. Can they stop it? They definitely, though. This is where your opponent starts praying for a base, right? They have to absolutely get a base. Now, my question is, I don't think I do anything to this this gun tank. It doesn't really do anything to our guys. This is the guy that's of concern here. He can at least trade with one of our units, but that's fine. If anything, we'll stop one of their maybe a linked play. I don't think they have a linked play unless they do Gara Zulu, which a lot of decks don't run anymore. I forgot if this deck does. Oh, there's the Angsha into that one. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just Siege Ploy that one. Sure, we'll take the 1. We expected to lose 1 guy anyway from that exchange, and they did to get the Marita Cruz, but didn't do anything there. So, oh, we even got a link. So let's go ahead and let's see if we get a base out of their life first. This at least goes to 4 attack with the Michaelis. Now the Michaelis won't really get its effect triggered all that much when you're running this deck, guys. It will sometimes happen if the game goes a little bit long. And look at that, we went ahead and got this one pretty easy. Sometimes your opponent just doesn't really get the proper hand to kind of stop your aggression, and also getting pretty much all of your GMs that early is quite impossible for your opponent. Our opponent definitely needed one more turn to get to their Kasatra and more extra Marita play in our hand here. So that would have been definitely an impossible thing to take to deal with once that landed, but we got our opponent dead beforehand. All right, let's try another game here. This is a pretty awful hand, only one unit. We're definitely gonna take the mulligan. Didn't get all the GMs like we had last game, but let's go ahead and just try it out. So we went first this time. Opponent doesn't do anything, and let's go ahead and drop the red and the white and then pass. We could do another red white next turn. Oh, nothing again. Look at that. Oh, look, the gods has smiled upon us. Now what I can do is I could break the base and deal some damage right now. Let's just go ahead and just swing with these two right now. That's fine, just to get that out the way. Because like, what massive players our opponent's gonna get? They didn't drop any blockers. We're not even sure what our opponent's really playing. I kind of just like selected a random enemy deck here. I just know it was just one of the pack of the meta decks here. So which meta deck? Okay, we're playing some kind of blue. Might not have been the best blue play to do. Okay, so white, so blue white. So a blue white player not getting any of the Zords or Lifrith is pretty much saying like, well, that's kind of sucks, right? And look at that. So they do have a 5 base. That kind of sucks for us, but can we? Oh, we actually do have the Garibaldi, the Garibaldi, which is one of our few ways of linking 5 in the deck here. And we'll just go ahead and start cleaning them up. Hope they don't get another base. Another attack. Another attack. Now, the game has so graciously given me all of my GMs. When I swear, if you guys play this deck, you're probably never going to see any of them. That's just how it works, right? But look at that. Cleaned up. Now, as a blue-white player, there is pretty much nothing you can do at this point, right? Like, you're just playing cards just to play cards, you know, at this moment, just for the sake of it. The honor of constantly, you know, we won't scoop. We'll just go ahead and play. But let's go ahead and see what was in our opponent's hand. And as a blue-white player, what would you have played? There is a Sword Strike Gundam along with the Kira. You know, would you have done that? Wouldn't have done too much, quite honestly. You know, not really too many plays we could have done here. So you decide. All right, since the last 2 games were pretty much lucky on our side, we're gonna do one more versus another random deck here. We have our Suletta. Our Suletta is gonna be like one of the cards we really don't want to play too much, but it does at least get some value back to progress our board. Oh, we have 2 GMs so far. Do we play another one? I think we stick to this one next turn. We want to go to our Michaelis. There's a Zort. Can't really get rid of the Zort right now. I guess we could if we really wanted to play the Covert Operative. We're gonna drop that guy down. So for now, we're actually just gonna go ahead and pass it. I feel like that always happens. I always play around this one guy and they drop another body. Okay, good thing we didn't swing, because that hero would definitely have knocked out one of our units. Ooh, they have a Sea Exploit. That's pretty nice there. Let me see. I'm just gonna go ahead and just, sure, why not? And I'm gonna put the sled on them, on the Michaelis. We can get this out of our way a couple times, and that's pretty good. And what it's probably going to do is block here, which is not too awful for us, and we'll get $1 back. So that's fine. We're gonna go ahead and swing. It's gonna block. So we're just gonna go ahead and pass it up. If they play a big blocker, we can exploit it. No, there's not really much we can do about that. So I'm gonna let it wipe out. And actually no blockers. That's good for us. Oh, look at that. We got a Gels de Lanza. Now I'm still kind of like, we're getting to the nitty gritty. We're in the middle of the game now, and we haven't done any damage, so that's not looking too good for us. Let's go ahead and get some damage in and pray that there's not going to be one of those 0-6 bases out of nowhere. Oh, that sucks, bringing them up to 5 now. So now they're in literally wing 0 territory. Not wing 0, wing territory, and that's going to suck there. And we can't do nothing about that. Or a Death Scythe. Oh, there's a 0-6 and AO Strike. Oh, buddy, that's gonna hurt so much. Look at that, bringing us down so far behind now. Okay, we got a Garibaldi, so we're gonna go ahead and throw this one here. Let's deal some damage. Deal some more damage. Deal some more damage. Oh my goodness. That is awful for us. Let's go ahead and just play our cards. We need to deal as much damage as we possibly can. If they get another Kira, that's going to be just GG's for us, quite honestly, right? So we deal 3 damage to that. We have nothing open. All we can do is, what is our opponent gonna do? Opponents always have to play into us. So 2 bases, Akira, L Strike. That's just awful, right? What do they have? Okay, they got the duo. Yep, gonna knock out one of our guys. We could possibly still do okay if we can get a link next turn. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just cross our fingers and swing. All you can really do sometimes as an aggressive player is kind of cross your fingers. And we do still play the Soletas, so we do have a chance of getting this burst if they start attacking us. But that's what we're really hoping for next turn. Because if we play this right now, they could probably just wing Gundam us or just kind of bounce it. There's so many things they can do with it. We're actually just going to put it in play because getting a pilot from our top deck with 33 cards left in the deck is a lot more impossible than them having... Oh, oh no. Oh my goodness. Can't even stop with the Siege Ploy because he attacked with this one first. And now if he plays the Wing Gundam with Hero, it's going to be awful. Doesn't have it. Doesn't have it? He does have it. Oh my goodness. Now we would see what happens with our top deck. Right? What was our top deck? Okay, another Gundam Ferrite. Let's go ahead and put it down. No, it doesn't really matter at this point. Oh my gosh. I kind of messed up. I didn't mean to play that card. No, we had a second chance. We should have just literally just kept it in our hand because maybe now we would get it. Oh, that's just kind of awful. Yep, so this thing is just definitely just going to start deleting us, right? If it attacks with anything else, it's going to attack with this one first. But if it attacks with anything else first, yes, we're going to Siege Ploy. Let's Siege Ploy. Let's go. All right, guys, in real life, do not attack with that. Attack with your Wing Gundam first. Oh my goodness. Let us hope. Oh no, they still got a blocker. That doesn't matter. Quite honestly, we're super. Oh my god, we're super cooked right now. There's the choo-choo. Now, if we would get a link off the top of the deck, okay, we just got a GM. I'm about to say, if we got a link on the top of the deck, guys, that would have been absolutely crazy. Well, as you can see, it doesn't beat everything. It definitely has a chance to beat this type of deck. You know, there were some very niche plays where if the opponent didn't get that exact play, we definitely would have won. And so you guys can kind of see how this is going. And yeah, look at that. They had 2 Wing Gundam Zeros in their hand. Yep. But as you can see, that deck costs like, what, 10 times as much as the $20 deck? Yeah, we lost this max cost, but overall, it didn't really even feel that bad. Quite honestly, it seemed like our opponent had to get very niche plays, very correct plays in order to stop us. And it pretty much can happen to any kind of aggro deck. I feel like even if you were playing like one of the better, more expensive aggro decks, it could have went the same exact way. So just think of it that way, guys. Maybe your plays could have been different than mine. Maybe your choices could have been different than mine and would have caused a different outcome, especially in your opponent could have been making different decisions as well. But heck, think about it this way. This deck only costs less than 20 bucks. Alright guys, let me know in the comments down below what kind of changes would you make to the deck. Are you interested in playing this $20 deck in your locals? Now if you guys want to see more budget decks like this, go ahead and be sure to like and subscribe to the video. Let us know in the comments down below. And of course, check us out next time. I do have some more in the works here, but we're going to go ahead and keep it going if you guys hit those buttons. Alright, I know this video has been long enough, so we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I know life can be hard out there, guys, but keep your head up, keep moving forward, and most importantly, let nothing stop you. Peace out, guys. For more Gundam content, go ahead and check out these videos right here. And for some other type of mecha content, go ahead and check these videos right here.